wabarakatuh. Hello class, how is your life getting on? I hope that all of you are staying in peak condition. Okay, in this great opportunity, I'll teach you about the strategy of reading through reading narrative text. But before I go on to the next explanation, I'll give you a short video and please pay attention of it. Happy watching!
How was my day? How was my day? How dare you ask me that? Well, all right. Since you asked, I'll tell you how my day was. First, the car broke down on my way home from work. And then, when I eventually get home, I find out the dog has run away. Finally, my husband tells me he's lost his job. I am so very unhappy.
Cut! Where'd you get that line?
What line?
The line about being unhappy. That's not in the script.
It's not?
Roll that back. See here? Car broke down. Dog ran away. Husband lost his job. See? Nothing about being unhappy.
Well, I made an inference that she was unhappy.
An inference? What's that?
I read the text and thought about what I know, and so I made an inference that the character is unhappy. See, we know her car broke down, and that's always a hassle. Then her dog ran away, and that's really sad. Finally, her husband lost his job, which is always bad news. So I added these things up and made an inference that she must be pretty unhappy.
Inference, huh?
I like it.
Okay, we'll keep it. Everyone, let's do it again with the inference in this time.
Well, class, that is the example of reading strategy and inference. Before I go on to explain about it, let me firstly explain about the narrative text. Narrative text is a story with complication or problematic events, and it tries to find the resolutions to solve the problems. The important part of narrative text is the narrative mode, the set of methods used to communicate the narrative through a process narration. Besides, the purpose of narrative text is to amuse or to entertain the reader with a story. Next, narrative text can be imaginary or factual. There are some genres from narrative text. Those are fairy tale, mystery, science fiction, romance, horror, fable, and so forth. Next is about the generic structures of narrative text. There are 4 generic structures. First is about the orientation. So what is orientation? Orientation is sets the scene, where and when the story happened, and introduces the participant of the story, who and what is involved in the story. Second, complication. Anyone of you knows what complication is? Okay, complication tells the beginning of the problems which leads to crisis or climax of the main participants. Third is about the resolution. What is resolution? Resolution is the problem or the crisis is resolved, either in happy ending or sad ending. And the last is reorientation or coda. So what it is? This is a closing remark to the story, and it is optional. It consists of moral lesson, advice, or teaching from the writer. Okay, I've already explained to you about the narrative text, and this is the time for me to explain you about the reading strategy, or it is an inference. So what is an inference? An inference is the process of drawing a conclusion from supporting evidence. It's when you go beyond the evidence and reach some further conclusion. And how to make it? So first, use clues to make an educated guess or inference. Inference is important skill in reading because it helps us to get a better understanding of the text we read. To infer in reading, we use clues for the text and combine them with things we already know. Okay, here, I provide you the example of narrative text. The title is The Ugly Duckling. Okay, for all of you, for all students, I please you to read and comprehend this narrative text. And next, I'll give you the example and we will do the narrative text or we will make the inference together. Pre-memory. Okay, time is up. Next is about how to make inference of narrative text. So let us take a look from the example. One upon time, a mother duck sat on her eggs. She felt tired of sitting on them. She just wished the eggs would break out. Even the author does not tell me directly, I can infer that the mother duck was incubating the eggs. So we can see there are some clues here. First, a mother duck sat on her eggs. Second, sitting on them, there she just wished the egg would break up. So we can imagine that we can infer that the mother duck was incubating the eggs. That is the example on how to make inference of narrative text. Okay, the next is about the duck. So please, for all students, please, for all of you, comprehend this narrative text again and again, and please make the inference of it. I'll give you time 5 minutes. Pre-memory. Well, time is up. Okay, let us discuss together. For the first is several days later, she got her wish. The eggs scratched and some cute little ducklings appeared. Peep peep, the little duckling cried. Quack quack, the mother greeted in return. So we can infer that the mother duck's eggs hatched. You can see the clues, some clues. So for the first is she got her wish. The egg scratched and some cute little duckling appeared. So we can infer the mother duck's eggs hatched. Next, however, the largest egg had not cracked. The mother duck sat on it for several days. Finally, it baked, it cracked, and a half ugly duckling rolled out. The mother duck looked at him in surprise. He was just big and very green. He didn't look like the others at all. He was like a turkey. Which means the inference is first, the mother duck was incubating again. Right. And the second is about the largest egg hatch. So we can see from the clues is, however, the largest egg had no crate. The mother duck sat on it for several days. It cracked and a half ugly duckling welled out. Yes, so we can infer that the mother duck was incubating again and the largest egg hatched. And next is when the mother duck brought the children to the point of their first swimming lesson, the hawk gray ducklings felt and paddled about just as nicely as the other duckling did. That is not turkey cheek. He is my very own son and quite handsome, the mother said proudly. So we can infer that the mother duck inserted herself about her son. Okay, for the next you can make the inference by yourself. Okay, the last is about the hammer. So please, for all students, to look for the example of narrative text, then make the inference about that. Okay, maybe that's all for today. If I have made many mistakes, I beg your pardon. And the last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you in the next meeting. Hope this video is beneficial for you all. Thank you.